Armenios Toothrot. Est. Oh, see you there. House de Nikolai Skorbutiki. Ahoy there, scurvy lovers. And welcome to part 8 of my video series showing the progress I've made in my Secret of Monkey Island Latin fan translation, where I go through line by line, talking about some of the decisions I've made. There's a full playlist down in the description. See, I can't quite remember what happened in part 7 last time. I don't know. I must have blacked out or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's pick up where we left off. So there's our English on the bottom, Latin on the top, and let's see where we were. Okay, so so that's right. Last time we weirdly had the cutscene where you first meet Elaine in the middle of all this Monkey Island stuff. Oh, excuse me. And Guybrush says that I really wish I knew how to talk to women. Alright, and then now for these next lines we're suddenly in the Cannibal Village on Monkey Island. So, okay, the line in the English, this is when you're looking at the door to the hut where the cannibals imprison you, and you escape over and over, and they keep upgrading to more sophisticated locking mechanisms to keep you trapped. And regardless of what's used to lock the door, Guybrush has the same line. In a primitive yet effective way, it's locked. And so in Latin I translated efficaciter et si simpliciter obseratonst. So efficaciously, even if simply, it has been locked. And then I think I can go in there now. I think once you've befriended the cannibals, you can go in and out as you please. So I think I can go in there. Unire un poisson, so I can now go in, and then of course the door, ostion, and then you have to look at some bananas, arenas. Okay. So in the English, some nice juicy bananas. In Latin, haec arienae bene succosae videndur. These bananas seem pretty juicy. I think I talked about before, I'm translating juicy literally, even though I don't know if juiciness is actually a quality you want in a banana. I think it's usually a sign that it's going bad if it's leaking juice. But anyway, that's how I translated it. And then you're looking at a bowl of fruit, which craterum fructuum. So a bowl of fruit. And then looks a little overripe, except for those nice juicy bananas. And then in the Latin here, hi fructos omnes iam maturatatam paulum videntur excesisse praeteri las arienas bene succosas. So all of these fruit seem to have exceeded their maturity, exceeded their ripeness now by a little bit. except those pretty juicy bananas. So yeah, I think this excedo with form of maturitas. I believe I don't know which author I found that in, but it seems to be the way that you describe fruit having gone bad, is that it's exceeded its ripeness, exceeded its maturity. And then once you take the good bananas, nothing left but bad fruit. Nihil praeter mala relictonst. So nothing except for bad apples is left. A malon isn't necessarily an apple specifically. It can refer to like other. I think this is the case. Oh no, I'm thinking of boma can refer to multiple types of fruit. Mala does just mean apple, but either way, I couldn't resist the pun here that describe the remaining fruit as bad apples with the mala. Or I don't know if it's a pun or if it's just some type of wordplay. And then if you try to take more, all I want are these bananas. The other fruit looks a little bit past its prime. Soli fructos exilis consumere volo sunt has arienas. Non ceteri nimium maturvise videntur. So the only fruit from these, which I want to take, are those bananas. For the rest, seem to have matured too much. So, maturesco, another a verb to ripen, and so here it's just another way to say they're overripe. To say they have ripened too much. And then you try to take more. No thanks. The rest is no good. Nolo cum ceteri fructos non boni sunt. I don't want to, for the other fruit are not, the remaining fruit are not good. And then, okay. So then, those are a bowl of fruit. And then, the cannibals, which I translated with the just the Greek word for people eater. You already saw this before with the memos, but anthropopagos, anthropopagi in the nominative. Because the word cannibal comes from some sort of corruption of the name of a native indigenous people in the Caribbean, and I think you can find some Neo-Latin, I think, I didn't want to just call them, the Caribiki or whatever, the Carib people, or because there's such a insensitive stereotype in the way they're portrayed. I just went for the Greek word for a people eater rather than trying to drag the name of a real group of people into this. But yeah, so the cannibals, and then when you offer to give them something, this is when you have the opportunity to hand them things. So I think they're waiting for me to give them something. Operiuntur puto dualio diis egoten. So they are waiting, as I think, until I should give something to them. Or, this is how you would, say they're waiting for me to give them something. They're waiting until I give them something. And then I think they're having a serious discussion. After you've given them the idol and you want to get the head of the navigator from them, but they don't want to part with it, they start having a conversation amongst themselves. So I think they're having a serious discussion. Oh, and then also, once you've befriended them, they're no longer called the cannibals. They're called the friendly natives, so which are translated as amigos indígenas, so the friendly indigenous folk, indigenous friends, which maybe feels weird, but yeah, I think they're having a serious discussion. I puto intersegnum de rebus gravibus agitant. So they, as I think, are now conversing about serious matters, conversing amongst themselves about serious matters. And then jumping around again. Now here's the dialogue. This is things Gāius says when you're interacting with the head of the navigator, when you're trying to navigate the catacombs. I'm not sure what this is in response to trying to do with the head, but I don't think it'd work very well if I did. So you're trying to do something with the head that you can't do, and Gāius says that, it wouldn't work. He wouldn't help you navigate if he did it. So si sic agum mihi videtur, id me bene producere non possit. So if I did so, it seems to me it would not be able to lead me well. And then I'd rather pick on someone my own size. I'm not sure which verb you're using on the head for this, but yeah, it's like, maybe push the head or something, but I'd rather pick on someone my own size. Aliquam me minoram vexare nolo. So I do not wish to bother. I do not wish to vex someone smaller than me. And then it's not super literal, but it gets the idea across. And then when you're looking to see which direction it's pointing, I think it wants me to go to the left. Id me laeum petere vele videtur. So it seems to want me to head to the left part. Laeum parte is what, that's why it's feminine and when you're referring to the directions. So you go to the left. I think it wants me to go to the right. Id me dextron petere vele videtur. It seems to want me to go right. I think it wants me to go to the front. Id me frontem petere vele videtur. It seems to want me to seek the front. I think it wants me to go to the back. Id me postic vaditum petere vele videtur. So it seems to want me to head to the rear passage, the rear exit, the one in the back, the exit in the back. For some reason, I was finding it was difficult to find. There are ways, backwards. You can use urorsum, but that also means again. I don't. It's tricky just to find like a good way of saying go to the back in Latin. But in all the situations where you do go back, where when you go back, there is a visible passageway on the screen that you'd be entering. So I thought like the clearest way to translate this idea was, specifically pointing to, the back passage. So, there's something visible you can see. I think it wants me to head for that passageway in the back, that way of going in the back. And then I think it's a little confused. Paulo confusum videtur. Seems a little messed up. Seems a little confused. And then head of the navigator. I just translated it as caput navigatoris. Now I know navigator in Latin isn't necessarily a navigator, the person who figures out the direction, the ship's bearing, and plots the course and stuff. And I'm still not entirely sure even if there was in classical times a person where that was their specific job. Later I'm using the word rhetor to describe the ship's pilot or the ship's steersman. We'll see. You'll see more about why I made this choice later, but there was a reason why I wanted the Latin phrase to resemble the English phrase. And then I think I have enough dialogue later to explain, like, it's not the head of just any sailor, but it's the head of a sailor, of a steersman with good direction, is how I end up rendering it in Latin later, but you'll see when I get to that. Okay, the head of the navigator. And then the eyeball necklace the navigator is wearing, the necklace on navigator. Monile navigatoris, the necklace of the navigator. And then, let's see. Okay, it wouldn't be a good idea to take it off here. So when you're wearing the necklace, which renders you invisible to the ghosts on the Czech ship, you try to take it off. It wouldn't be a good idea to do it while you're aboard the ship. And this is what Gāius says in that circumstance. So it wouldn't be a good idea to take it off here. Hicid deponere non tutve videtur. It seems to be not safe to take it off here. And if you try to put it on the navigator, and the navigator's already wearing it, he already has it on. Caput manile jongerit, so the head is already wearing the necklace. I don't know why I made my translations more specific in spelling it out. I guess because caput and manile are both neuter nouns, and so, like, it is already wearing it. I don't know. Id yonge. I don't know. That's probably why I decided to spell things out more. Ilud hok, or this is already wearing that. I don't know. I think it's clear just to say the names of the objects. And then I think it would be better to hang on to it. So I don't know. Oh, I think I'd better hang on to it. So I think if you're already wearing the necklace and you're trying to put it back on the navigator, Gāius says it would be better if you kept it instead of giving it back. Mapes with tenere satio sputo. So I think it better. I think it enougher, but I think it better. I think it more satisfactory that I myself hold it. And then it wouldn't be a good idea to take it off here. So id hic deponere non tutve videtur. It seems to be not safe to take it off here. Okay. And then necklace of the navigator. And then and if you try to take it before the navigator has agreed to let you have it, he tells you you can't have it. Id capere tibi non licet. So it's not allowed for you to take it. It's mine. Non meonst, for it's mine. I just decided to add more emphasis there. It's mine. And then if you try to put it on somewhere other than near the ghost ship when you're going in, I don't need it here, no ghosts around. Hikeo non opust, ad sontenam nulla phantasmata. So there's not need for it here, for no ghosts are present. And then if you try to put on the necklace while you're using the head to navigate, while you have it taken out, you can't put it on because it's part of it's on the head as part of the sprite, so it doesn't let you do that. So I can't put it on now. I've got the head whipped out. Id indure mihi non posso non caput exero. So now I cannot put it on myself, for I have the head. For the head, I am holding out the head. And then necklace on Navigator, so it's just that, yeah, monili navigatoris. And then, okay, and then jumping around again, we have Herman Toothrot when he's on the in the Cannibal Village. Is at the point where you're able to give him his banana picker back. He's just hanging out at the Cannibal Village. And I think this is one of the few moments in the game where you can actually interact with him in terms of using other verbs on him. Because normally he just wanders up onto the screen and starts talking to you throughout other parts of the island. It may be possible to try to interact with him in the split second where he's walking away. I'm not sure. But for the most part, the only time you're really able to interact with Herman is during this scene where he's like standing still in one place so you can give him the banana picker. And it is, yeah, Herman Toothrot, and then Arminios Toothrot. Okay, so he is babbling to himself. Secum blaterat, so he is babbling with himself. Filthy and without pants as usual when you look at him. Lutulentulost et sine brachis ut solet. So he is full of dirt, covered in dirt, and without pants, as is his wont, as he usually is. And then that might not be wise. I don't know if this is if you try to push him or something. I'm not sure when this comes up, but sigagare non tutto esse videtur. To do so seems to be not safe. And then, okay, and then I guess this is still in the same location, but trying to interact with the huts. There's all these empty huts in the Cannibal Village. Hut, castle. And then if you try to interact with it or do something with it, why, it's empty. Kur non laquas. Why, for it is empty. Kur non laquas. So, with all the huts trying to interact with them, there's quite a few of those in a row. And then I think there's the tall hut that you can't directly see inside. I can't see inside from here, but I'll bet it's empty. Hinc non video quod sit intus, sedeam vacuaise suspicur. From here, oh, I do not see from here what is inside. Surely it should be. I cannot see from here what is inside. From here, I cannot see what might be inside. Oh, and then, quid sit intus? Yeah, should be indirect question. I could be irrelevant. I cannot see that which is inside. Well, either it'd be quod est in toast or quid sit in toast. Okay, but I can't see inside from here. Hinc non vedere possum quid sit in toast. And then but it's empty. So then waco I say suspicor, but I suspect it to be empty. And then realized just now that none of the changes I'm making inside this Windows 95 emulator, I mean this real PC running Windows 95, but these aren't going to be saved, so I'm going to have to make these same changes again in the real thing. But oh well. And then okay, and then there it looks big and empty. So there is a big stone head. Magnum capo de saxo sculptum. It's a big head sculpted from stone. This is a large sculpture of a stone head in the Cannibal Village that looks like it's from the Olmec civilization from Mesoamerica. So once again, the cannibals are just, visually there's such a mishmash of so many different cultures. It's not great. But yeah, there's a giant Olmec head here, and it looks big and empty. Magnum vacuumque videtur, seems big and empty. And then it has a big open mouth, the way it's drawn. And I guess if you try to open it, it's already open. Ionia apertons os, and so I specified the mouth is already open. I don't know why I needed to specify that, but I did. And then I don't want to get closer to that thing. It might be booby trapped. Illi proprios stare nolo. So I do not wish to stand nearer to it. Yeah, and I suppose prope. Yeah, so prope as a preposition would go with the accusative, but prope can also be an adverb, and there's no such thing as comparative forms of prepositions, right? And so the comparative form of the adverb prope, propios, and then when you use prope as an adverb, it can go with the dative. So I do not wish to stand nearer to it, or nearer to that. And then it might be booby trapped. Non fieri potest ut os hiet ad morsum sicut pedica dentata. So it may be that the mouth gapes open to bite, just like a toothed trap. So a pedica dentata was something that existed in classical times. It was something like a bear trap, some sort of tooth trap that could close around an animal's leg and bite into it. Yep, and then I think maybe this whole expression saying that the trap is open to bite. I think maybe this entire expression I found somewhere or maybe not. I can't remember. But okay, so that's the big stone head. And then just the jungle, Silvan, and then bananas. Oh, there's bananas, Ariano. And then you look at the bananas, and it's yellow. Flowers, it's yellow. And then, let's see. Native, yeah, so I'm not sure when you can interact with each of the cannibals individually, but indigeno. Native. There's supposed to be any long macrons that I forgot there. Oh, I guess not. Okay. Sorry, I'm doubting myself. Very warm right now. I have the air conditioning off while I'm recording this. Okay. Oh, okay. And then we get into dialogue with the cannibals themselves. All right. Okay, so you have this reference to the famous Mae West line. Is that a gun in your pocket? But is that a banana in your pocket, or are you just glad to see us? This is, of course, the cannibals first show up after you've taken a banana from the bowl of fruit. Iludne quodin sinuabe zarienas an modo tu nobis conspectis exultas. So that which you have in a fold, is it a banana, or are you merely exultant? Are you rejoicing us having been seen? So a sinos is a fold. So the way Romans draped the toga around themselves, they would have these billowy folds of fabric that they could use as pockets, where they could store things. And so the Roman equivalent to a pocket is a sinos, a fold in their clothing, and fold in the toga, for the purposes of making a pocket. But it can also be any kind of fold or bulge. So however you want to interpret it, it might work, it might work depending on but is that what you have in your fold, a banana? And then of course exulto, right, literally to like jumping for joy, so like not just excited to see them, but also maybe leaping up to see them, and so that's fun. The screensaver is trying to cut off my crude innuendo. That's fun. Is this the one that makes you go upside down? Wow, nostalgia overload. Or no, I mean, I always use Windows 95. This doesn't bring me back to my childhood. This is today. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna see a rat. What am they? Idemos. What am I doing? I'm tired and I'm hot. Why did I decide to make a video right now? Oh, look at that screensaver. Okay, sorry about that. So is that what you have in your fold, is that what you have in your bulge, a banana? Or are you merely jumping for joy having seen us? And then you've got a lot of nerve stealing from the notorious Monkey Island Cannibals. Audesne quid aufere nobis anthropophagi sidis infamibus qui Monkey Island incolunt. So you dare to steal anything from us cannibals, those infamous ones who inhabit Monkey Island? Yeah, and alfer just takes a simple ablative for the person you're stealing from, alfero. And then Guybrush responds, "You're cannibals? Vos nestis anthropophagi? You're cannibal? Are you cannibals?" And then, well, yes. Sane quidem. Soundly indeed. Of course, indeed. Although lately we've been trying to stay away from red meat. I think I was having some difficulty translating this concept of red meat versus white meat or whatever. But there was a distinction between like wild and domestic game among the Romans. I think that's a distinction I used for whatever reason. Quamquam nupe ferina carne nos abstinere con amor. So, although recently we are trying to abstain ourselves from wild game meat, wild animal meat, only for health reasons. Modo scilicet valetudinis causa, only obviously for the cause of health. We're still as vicious as ever. Nos tamen sumos etiam nunc tam truculente cum semper. We nevertheless are even now as violent and vicious as always. Especially with tourists who try to steal our stuff for souvenirs. Peregrinatores quidem furaces qui res nostras nemosunis carpendis havent praecipue crudeliter tractamus. So, travelers, outsiders, tourists in Neo-Latin contexts, and medieval Latin contexts, right? Pilgrims who went on, that was the relic sites were the tourist traps of the Middle Ages. But thieving travelers who consider our things, or who hold our things as mementos to be grabbed. I think the mnemnosunon, Greek word for like a monument or whatever. I think it's used in by I think Cato the Elder, one of the Catos, for the idea of a keepsake. But who habeo with pro, right, to take something for, not like let it take, but like what do you take me for, that kind of take, right? That's kind of the expression it is. But yeah, they consider our things, they take our things for souvenirs to be grabbed. Particularly cruelly we treat thieving tourists who consider our things souvenirs to be grabbed. And then, well, what do you have to say for yourself? Qui digitur pro te dicere veris. What, therefore, would you like to say for yourself, on behalf of yourself? And then, yeah. So if you escape and then return and get caught again, the banana thief returns to the scene of the crime. Ecce fur alienarum revene tuc ubi sua maleficia commissit. So behold, the thief of bananas has returned here where he has committed his malfeasance, his evil deed, his crime. The banana thief has returned to here where he committed the crime. And then maybe we should just eat him right now. Fortasse nos eam ion commesse debemos. Perhaps we ought to eat him now. And it's always Sharp Tooth who's keen on eating Guybrush, and it's Red Skull who's always lecturing everybody else about their health. Do you have any idea how much cholesterol is in one of these things? Skin omnino quantum cholesteroli insit, etiain uno tantum exilis. So do you know at all how much of cholesterol is inside, even in only one of these? Obviously, cholesterolum, that's complete, Neo-Latin, but like, I don't know. I wasn't, I wasn't sure what the classical equivalent should be. I tried to look up like Roman health concerns and things that they avoided, or tried to delve into Roman health beliefs, but it was just getting too crazy that I just decided, like, no, I'll just use some Neo-Latin to express their health concerns, because there may have been some equivalent, some Roman health advice from some medical text about certain things to avoid, even though they didn't know about cholesterol specifically. But and then so these are all the responses when you keep coming back and keep getting caught. And there's our screensaver again. Keep me on my toes. Let me know when I'm rambling on too long. The screensaver pops up. So you keep coming back and they keep having responses. Now then, how did you break out of our hut and why did you come back? Iom nobis dicquo pacto si selapso se casa, dicquoque quabrem reveneris. So now tell us by what means you have slipped from the hut. Say also for what reason you have returned. Wait, hold on. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was like, sorry, indirect question, it's perfect subjunctive. I was like, why is it future perfect? Sorry. My brain is really just not great tonight. Yes, it's perfect subjunctive. Right, it's a long I and everything. Perfect subjunctive. Okay. Sorry everyone. And then Oh, well, you're quite the escape artist, aren't you? And then I went a completely different direction here. Looks like I kind of maybe I gave up on trying to find a good Neo-Latin phrase or circumlocution or a Roman equivalent to an escape artist. That I just decided to make up an entirely different joke. Because this is totally different. Elge probatio perfectas, te quidum praevisti, antistite fugi. Iomne revenire decines, tuniculum non habemus. So I turned this into a big reference to the first part of the game when you're completing the 3 trials. So it's like, well done, the trial has been completed. You have indeed proven yourself to be the master of escape. Oh, maybe this is how I arrived at this joke, because I was trying to think of escape artist, and then I was thinking of so the antistita gladi is the sword master. That's how I'm translating. Carla's position as a sword master with antistes or antistita, which right, literally it's like a high priest, high priestess. But I want to avoid using like words like magister, because that already can mean ship captain. It can mean teacher. And then there's the character of Captain Smirk, who's both a captain and he has a sword fighting school. And so I don't want to cause confusion with Carla's title and Captain Smirk's title having to do with swords. So I called Carla the antistita gladi, the high priestess of the sword. And then antistes is a word that could be used to describe someone who's very skilled at something. They'd use it to, call someone a master or a champion, call them idiomatically, call someone the high priest of something if they're very skilled at it. So that's the word. Oops, I'm rambling again. Thank you, Screensaver. But that's the word I use for the concept of like the sword master, and then equivalent master. There's references to masters of other things that pop up. The trial has been completed. You have proven yourself the master of escape. Now will you stop returning? We don't have a shirt. And of course, this is a reference to the fact that your prize for defeating the sword master and for finding the treasure is you just get a T-shirt. Or literally, tunicula, a short tunic, right? It's the best kind of Neo-Latin phrase for a T-shirt. I guess another situation I got carried away where I was trying to figure out how do I describe escape artist, and I was like, maybe I could use this precedent I already have in the game of referring to people as antistites, and so it's like, okay, and then that just turned into a joke about the cannibals, like thinking Gāius needs like a prize, thinking that he's trying to win a trial, and they're just like, okay, you've won, you can stop coming back now, you've proven you can escape. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I'm rambling again. I thought it was funny, so I definitely got carried away translating that in a totally different direction from the original, but sometimes that happens. Yes. Quite the escape artist, aren't you? I told you we should eat him, right? We should eat him, and then, hoc praemium propono, no sem come se debemos. So then Sharptooth, to make it fit in with my translation, I propose this prize, we ought to eat him. So we don't have a shirt, but I propose this reward. We should eat him. And then how you get out is almost as much of a mystery as why you keep coming back. So, tuos modus exiundi paini taucultus est nobis. I could do... I wasn't doing that overall. I don't know. Once again, none of the changes I make to this this version of the document are gonna save. So, but tuos modus exiundi paini taucultus est nobis. Cum causa cur iterat quiterum revenias. So your means of exiting are almost as hidden to us as the cause why again and again you return. And then Sharptooth says the real mystery is why he's not simmering with carrots right now. Vera res cultac in insulast id quodium rogo cur ili nunc cum pastinacis non inferuescit. So the real hidden thing, the real secret, and here I'm playing on, this is how I'm translating like secret, like in the title of the game, the res occulta in Monkey Island, the hidden thing on Monkey Island, the secret on Monkey Island. The real secret on this island, the real hidden mysterious thing on this island, is this which I now ask. Why is he now not simmering, not boiling with carrots or with parsnips or root vegetables? The Romans use the same word for both parsnips and carrots and related kinds of root vegetables. Carota exists as a later medieval word for carrot. It became the source of the English word in some other modern languages, but yeah, in classical times, both carrots and parsnips were called pastinacae. But yeah, the real secret on this island is this, which I now ask: why is he not now simmering with root vegetables? And then, I don't know if this is getting boring for you. You just keep coming back and coming back. I don't know if this is getting boring for you, but it sure is for me. Nescivan omnino te taereat huios rei, sed me quidum maxime. So I don't know whether at all it's tiring you out of this thing. This is the structure with Theidit is the person being worn out is in the accusative, and the thing they're wary of is in the genitive. But yeah, I don't know if it's boring you, this thing, this matter, but indeed greatly me, right? So I don't know if it's doing it for you, but for me, yeah, definitely, very much so, it's boring me. And then finally, if you just keep coming back, they just ask, what now? Quidion. So, and then we get to Guybrush's responses to them. Are there any? No, nothing over there. And then, okay. Don't eat me, I'm a mighty pirate. Nolite me comese, non pirata fortisum. Do not eat me, for I am a mighty pirate. Don't eat me, I'll give you anything. Nolite me comese, non tibi quicquid voltis tabo. Do not eat me, for I will give anything. I will give to you anything you wish. And then, oh, go ahead and eat me, see if I care. Oh, certe, agite, este me, nihil curo. Oh, certainly, go ahead, eat me, I care nothing, I don't care. Oh, okay, another famous line, hopefully people are satisfied with my translation for. Look behind you, a three-headed monkey. Of course, that's where the name of this whole YouTube channel is taken from this line as well. Look behind you, a three-headed monkey. Respicite, non posto stat simia triceps. Look back, for behind you stands a three-headed monkey. Yeah, once again, I added more words to it, but because it seems like respicite doesn't often take just a direct accusative, like look back at the monkey, and then I guess I could have just had another accusative exclamation, or I could have I don't know. I just but basically it's like turn around, look back, for behind you a monkey is standing. Which helps convey the proximity of the monkey. Look behind you, for behind you stands a three-headed monkey. Maybe I was making a reference to something too. Maybe look back, for behind you stands. Maybe I was actually adapting a classical quote that I now can't even remember. I don't know. I said the point of these videos is so that I could explain the choices I made in translating, but some of the stuff I did so long ago that I don't remember. I don't remember why I made these choices. But that's okay. I'll keep forging ahead in these videos until someone tells me to stop. If you want me to stop, comment down below. If you want me to continue, comment down below. Alright, and then okay, so then their response to saying that you're a pirate, so that means his skin will be leathery and his meat tough and stringy. Piratae quidum calosi scortiique pelle sunt et duri fibrati carne. So pirates indeed are calloused, hard and leathery in pelt, in skin, and hard and stringy, and fibrous in their meat. So these ablatives of characteristic there. So you are of no use to us, nutritionally speaking, but, and then the but leads to the dialogue down below. There's a lot of things that lead to the dialogue down below, saying that if you give us something, we might not eat you. You're of no use to us, nutritionally speaking, but ergo tu nullum nobis utilitatum praebes libellem, said. Therefore, you offer no utility to us, no nutritional, no alimentary utility. Alibelis means having to do with, probably the closest word having to do with nutrition or something. I believe it has something to do with has to do with food and perhaps the healthiness of that food. Of course, the word, nutritionist, of all those words in English, they come from, the Latin nutrix, which was a nurse, like a wet nurse, an enslaved woman who would be kept as a wet nurse and a nanny for Roman children. So any word based off of nutrition would have a much different meaning. Any word based off of that root. Yeah, so you offer no allowable. I don't know if that made it into English. You have no allowable utility to us, but oh, there's a screensaver again. But and then that line gets finished down below. But yeah, we know. I think this is if you come back again and you say, oh, this is if you keep doing the look behind you a three-headed monkey line again, maybe, and they just don't. Yeah, they just stop believing you. Or this is when it actually, because the first time, there isn't one, and then they turn around and you escape. And I think maybe the second time there is one, and then they don't turn around to look at it. But this might be when they say that. But yeah, we know. Honkyong skimos, itekwe sik dikere de senas. So this we already know. Therefore, you can stop saying so. Which maybe, I don't know, this might be a line where when I am play testing and I find out more about the specific context, I might make changes. And then in response to you saying, I'll give you anything, and they're like, anything? And I mean, quid volamos? Anything we want? Okay. Garte. And then, and then you say, go ahead, eat me. Then Sharptooth says, hey, whatever you say. Libenter faciemos utvis. We will gladly do as you wish. And then, no, this is the response to trying the monkey head on them again, because, we're not going to fall for that old trick again. Nos iterum tuis dolis non decipiemur. We will not be deceived again by your tricks. And then, maybe there's lots of responses. We're trying it a bunch of times. I'm not sure. But then, hey, do you really think we're that stupid? Hey, putasne vero nos esse tom stoltus ut istos dolo falamur? So do you truly think us to be so stupid that we would fall for that trick of yours? That we would be fooled by that trick of yours? And then, I wouldn't push it if I were you. So I guess you keep trying it over and over. I wouldn't push it if I were you. Nulli abuti nostra patientia. So do not abuse our patience. Which I believe this is from one of Cicero's orations. It's probably also a phrase, a common enough phrase that was used maybe in other places too. But yeah, do not abuse our patience. And then I guess we'll eat you now. Suspicor forut iomte comedamos. So I suspect it will be that we eat you now. Unless, fortasse, or perhaps, and then here's where all these lines connect, where all these things are trailing off. It connects back to these lines where they say you can offer something to them. If you had some sort of offering for us, something that we could pass on to the great monkey. And then this is a weird thing, and then he kind of just trails off without finishing that sentence at all in the English. In the disc versions of the game, there's more to that sentence where he says, if you have some sort of offering for us, something that we could pass on to the great monkey, we might allow you to leave here uncooked, is what it says in the disc version. I think there are a few other differences in the Cannibal dialogue between the disc version and the CD version, and then by extension the special edition and Ultimate Taki Edition. Some of the things I'm not sure why certain lines were changed or rearranged, but I wanted to finish the sentence, and I liked I like the word uncooked, which does have incoctos. In Latin, incoctos is a word for uncooked or raw. So I wanted to use it. So I translated the full sentence as it appears in the floppy disk versions of the game. But si donum quiestum de nobis oferas quod magnae simiae tradamos, forsitan nobis persuadeas ut hinc abire desinamus in coctum. So if you offer us a gift of a certain kind, which we might hand over to the great monkey, perhaps you would persuade us that we allow you to leave from here uncooked. So that's that line. And then let's see. All right, and then you have a few opportunities to give them things. So we'll give you one more chance to trade something of yours for freedom. So dabimus iterum tibi tempus aliquios dandi nobis pro tua libertate. So again, we will give to you time. Tempus plus the genitive means time for doing something, and so here with the genitive gerundive, we'll give you time for giving something to us, and in exchange for your liberty. And then when they're waiting, little interjections like "well" are so hard to, so I added a little bit more. Itaque expectamos, and so we're waiting. And then we have their responses to all sorts of things you can give them. So if you do try to give them the key to the monkey head back, which you don't have to do, and they don't even actually take from you, but and this would be something you'd only be able to do after you've befriended them and after you're almost done with everything on Monkey Island. But yeah, so the key to the great monkey. Thank you very much. Why don't you hang on to that for right now? So I think this all goes together. I think why don't you hang on to that for right now is in reference to the key as well. If it is in reference to another line, I might have to change the translation, but I think it's all part of the same one. So, ecce clavis magnae simiae, gratios maximus tibiagimus, quintu palisper eum tenes. So, behold, the key of the great monkey. We render greatest thanks unto you. Why don't you hold on to it for a while? Some words could probably use some more little connecting discourse words. I don't know, throw in some cuidados or igitores or something, but maybe, I don't know. I'll leave it like it is for right now, since nothing I change in this version of the document will be saved. Okay, and then you try to give them the compass that Stan gives you, one of those newfangled magnetic compasses, too high tech. Yeah, give me a good old-fashioned disembodied head any day. So I think I decided, I guess the reason they think it's too high tech isn't necessarily spelled out here. I think there's maybe an implication in the original text, the joke's supposed to be they're a primitive people who doesn't want advanced technology, or I don't know, but I turned it more of a generational joke about like kids these days and their crazy technology that they're using. So more of like they're not disinterested because Gāius is an outsider, but just because it's I don't know, it's something that the kids are using these days that they didn't need when they were kids. I don't know. Nimis multiplicia proectaque sunt instrumenta mechanica quibus hodierne juvenes utuntur. So too complicated, complex, doesn't mean multiplex means having lots of parts and being like a complex mechanism, whereas so multiplex was the right word to choose versus complex, which I think most literally means like folded together, but it also means other types of complexity. I guess I can't remember what the usage distinction was, but I remember multiplex was the right word for something that has a lot of parts, right? That's nimis multiplicia proectaque sunt. So too complicated and advanced are the mechanical instruments which today's youth use. And then en unex illis novicis acibus magneticis. So behold, one of those new magnetic needles. And this is the Neo-Latin phrase used for compasses. One of those newfangled, recent, brand new magnetic needles. When referring to a person, this is like novice, and it was like someone who was recently enslaved was called a novikios. But describing objects, it has the sense of newfangled or brand new or unfamiliar in its newness. It's one of those, newfangled magnetic needles. And then the mechanical instruments which today's youth use are too have too many parts and are too advanced. And then potio sequidem semper habebo caput abscisum secundum nostram patrium morem. So give me a good old-fashioned disembodied head any day. So I will always consider a severed head better. I, for my part, I indeed will always consider a severed head better, or preferable, according to our ancestral custom. So, right, because they use the head of the navigator to navigate. They don't use a compass. So, give me a good old-fashioned disembodied head any day. I will always, rather have. I will always hold preferable a severed head, as is our ancestral custom. So I guess was my way of saying, old-fashioned. And maybe that's what led me down the road to making it more like a generational joke. Like sometimes I keep fiddling with a translation over and over, and then I don't realize how far away it gets from the original English text, because it's like I start out translating it kind of literally, and then I get an idea just looking at the Latin, and I keep tweaking, and I end up with a Latin sentence that I like, and then it's kind of drifted away a little bit from the literal meaning. But that's okay. That's what translation is supposed to be about, right? You're localizing, you're putting your own voice and your own spin on it. It's clunky, literal one-to-one calcs aren't true to the spirit of what a translation is supposed to do, and they're not fun to read. It's not fun to read something that's like, this is obviously, just word for word swapped out. It's written in another language and then swapped out with words in this language. It makes for a very unsatisfying translation. It's not very accurate. And then let's see. We couldn't take that. You've already given us so much. So this is after you've given them the idol, and they're happy with what you've given them. They won't accept anything more. Illo decipere nolimos, non tu plusium novis dedisti quam nos unquam reponere possimos. So we do not wish to receive that, for you have already given to us more than we might ever be able to repay you. And then when you give them try to give them one of the T-shirts, they say, we appreciate the natural fibers, but no thanks. Textil ipsum probamos, non nativos sunt fila, istum tamen tuniculum nolumus. We approve of the fabric itself because the fibers are natural. I'm not trying to make a pun with nativos and native. This just happens to be like the word that's used for like untreated wool and stuff, right? Like fibers in their natural state that haven't been processed in some way or dyed in some way. Is nativos is the adjective used. But we approve of the fabric itself, for the fibers are natural. That shirt, however, we don't want. And then if you try to give them the rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle, no thanks, we already got one of those. Golinum fals ainqua media, quasi introclia affixos orbiculos porigis. So a false hen in the middle of which, as if in a trolley, a false hen in the middle of which, as if in a pulley block, a pulley wheel has been affixed. You offer. So you're offering. Yeah, and this is the long, awkward phrase. I need something equivalent to a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle that's said over and over and over again. That's an awkward, long phrase. And so, yeah. So it's false hen in the middle of which, as if in a trochee block. Why do I keep saying trochee? Trochlea. But as if in a pulley block, a pulley wheel has been affixed. So, yeah, the parts of a trochlea is the whole pulley mechanism that the wheel is fitted into, and the orbiculos, the little circle, is the pulley wheel itself. But yeah, so you offers a fake chicken in the middle of which, as if it's a pulley block, a pulley wheel has been affixed. And then gratios said yabemos. Thank you, but we already have it. Already have one. And then, sorry, but we have plenty of those. I think this is if you try to give them a skull. I think you can find a skull in the hut. Yeah, I think that's it, if you give them the skull. Illorum quidum magna copia ium nobis est. So already to us is a great abundance of those, indeed. And then your currency means nothing to the great monkey. So if you try to give the pieces of eight to them, apud magnum Simeon tua pecunia nihil valet. Yeah. So your money is worth nothing to the great monkey. So yeah, when you use walio to describe the worth of something, and you're describing its worth to a particular person, the preposition you use is apod. So it's just idiomatically that's how you use. So it's worth nothing, at the great monkey. I guess maybe it's because it's used often in like at this shop or whatever. But it seems to be used to describe like individuals, and I don't know. Either way, that's the idiomatic phrase with nihil valio. It's worth nothing to this person. You use apud. And then and then if you try to give back the banana you stole, do you really think we want that after you've had your grubby paws all over it? Credin vero nos istanc, ion totum tois manibus piciatis inquinatum recuperevele? So do you truly believe us, truly believe that we want to receive that now in total, now the whole thing having been defiled by your literally your pitchy hands, like hands covered with tar, right? Which is a way of describing. You describe a thief as having manos piciatae, sticky hands, right? Like sticky fingers, to show that they steal things. But here it kind of works with a double meaning, like with the grubby, like literally dirty hands, but then also as thieving hands. But yeah, so do you really think we want to receive that now, having been totally defiled by your sticky hands? And then thanks, but we already have one of our own. I'm not sure what this is in response to, but gratios sed habemus ion nostram. Thanks, but we already have our own. And then I don't think the great monkey would like that. Illudut puto magnae simiae non placiat. So that is, I think, would not be pleasing to the great monkey. And then we already have one of those. Yabemus, we already have. And then, yuck, no thanks. I'm not sure what you're offering them here, but fufai, nolemos, gross, we don't want. Now, what would the great monkey do with that? Quid non opposisto magnae simiae. So what the heck need would the great monkey have for that? What need would there be to the great monkey for that? And then, come on, you can do better than that. Age, aliquid isto melius offere potes. So come on, you can offer something better than that. Do you have anything of a more spiritual value? So it does start to give you hints after a while if you keep trying to give them things, hinting you towards, you need to give them some kind of religious artifact, and so pointing you towards giving them an idol. So habesne quid divinius natura? Do you have anything more divine in nature? And then, that's hardly an artifact worthy of the great monkey. Ira res haud dignos magnae simia. So that thing is hardly worthy of the great monkey. Obviously, you have nothing for us. So when you run out of time to give him something, obviously you have nothing for us. Plane nil habes quod velimus. So plainly you have nothing which we would want. And then, but then when you do, you give them the idol that you steal from the great monkey head. This ridiculous scene. Hey, wow, yo, papai, this is impressive. Mirabile visu, marvelous to behold. Lemonhead. Citrocapile, Citrocephalus, Lemonhead. Ooh, maybe I should have made that. It's all caps in the original. I probably should have done that in the Latin as well. Lemonhead. Take a look at this. Ecce quod nobis datum. Behold what has been given to us. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, perite sculptums. Ooh, skillfully sculpted. That's what I went with. This is, of course, an idol made by Lemonhead himself. So I thought it was even... there's already the joke that he's complimenting his own work, but I always thought it was funny. I don't know. It's skillfully sculpted. It's something more specific to say than just it's nice, which I could have just, bellon, as bellon or something. But and then of course here's where it gets even more ridiculous, where they notice that it says has Lemonhead's name on it, and it says made by Lemonhead, just like one of mine. This is one place where the disc version has a lot more lines. The Lemonhead goes on and on about things about it that are similar to the ones that he makes, and here they shorten it to just one line, where it says made by Lemonhead, just like one of mine. Etium verbis inscriptons citrocephalus me fecit. It's even inscribed with words. Citrocephalus made me. And of course, we already talked about earlier, but this is often how the creator of something in the ancient world was credited. It's as if the object is speaking for itself, and so it have a label that says like so and so made me. It's even inscribed with words. Citrocephalus made me. And then, just like one of mine. Auge, quum similimus hoc idolis, quae guipse facere solio. Hooray, well done. How very similar is this to the idols which I myself am one to make. We should take this to the great monkey. Idad magnum simium nunc affaire debemus. So we ought to bring it to the great monkey now. Yes, I agree. Certe consentio. Yes, certainly I agree. And then we are very grateful to you for this fine gift. Gratios maximus debiagimus quod optimum donum dedisti. So we give the greatest thanks to you because you have given a very good gift. If there's ever anything you need on Monkey Island, just come see us. Sequel debiopus uncum sit hic in Monkey Island, visas modo nos. So if there may be ever a need for you, if you ever have need here on Monkey Island, you should just visit us. And then if you try to leave before giving them something, it says, you ain't going nowhere until you give us something. Nus cum prios ibis cum nobis aliquid dederis. So you will go nowhere before you will have given something to us. And then if you keep looking at the huts, you get all sorts of phrases describing them as empty. I don't know why there's so many of these, but yes, there's lots of jokes about the huts being empty. So, yep, still empty. Etiam nunc vacuast. Even now, it is empty. It's an empty hut. Escassa vacua. This hut is very empty. Haec casa vacuissimast. This hut is very empty. Boy, this is the emptiest hut I've ever seen. Bull omnibus de casis quas uncum vidi haec est vacuissima. By Pollux. Of all the huts which I have ever seen, this is the most empty. No two ways about it. This hut's empty. In ambiguo non est quin haec casa sit vacua. So in ambiguity, it isn't. So the phrase, in ambiguo esse, to be in a maze, in a crazy circuitous path. And then going with ut in ambiguo est ut, and so to say it is in contention, or it is ambiguous whether you use ut, but it's negated, so it becomes queen. But yeah, so it's not an ambiguous thing. It's not a split in the path. It's not something with two possibilities. Whether this hut is empty. And then I'll bet if I looked up empty in the dictionary, there'd be a picture of this hut. Si quaeratur in lexico verbum vacuos juxta lema pictorisit huios casae. So if the word vacuos were searched for in a lexicon, next to the lemma, next to the head word, there would be a picture of this hut. And then, have you come back to let us repay you for your fine gift? So yeah, if you give them the idol and you leave before figuring out what it is you need from them, this is how they'll greet you. If you come back to let us repay you for your fine gift, revenistinot nos tibi pro bello dono gratium referamus. Have you returned so that we might give back the favor for the fine gift? Give back the favor to you for the fine gift. And then let's see. And then, well, actually, there is something. Esquidum quidum quod requiro. Kind of alliteration there. Est quidam quod requiro. There is indeed a certain thing which I require. No thanks. Generosity is its own reward. Bye. Gratios, sed liberalitas ipsa sum praemiunst. Valete. So thank you, but liberality and generosity itself is its own reward. Goodbye. Well, if there's ever anything you need from us, just let us know. Stitaman opus uncum tipisit aliquo quod dare possimos, dic modo nobis. If nevertheless there is ever need for you for anything which we might give, just say to us. Just tell us. And then, thanks, when Guybrush leaves. Thanks, gratias. And then, what a guy. They're so impressed by his generosity that he doesn't want anything in return. What a guy. And then maybe this looks like another line I got carried away on. Neminum generosiore virtute quaelum novi. So I have known no one of more generous virtue than him. I don't know if that ended up being a reference to something, or I'm not sure why I translated it that way, but you know, it expresses the same idea. Wow, what a swell guy. I mean, I've never known anyone more of a more generous virtue than him. And then, but if there is something you require, tell us, what is it? Dic novus quid sit. Tell us what it is. And then I'm looking for somebody. I don't know what my cutoff point should be today for this video. Because the cannibals have a lot of dialogue. Is there a natural stopping point? Not really. Maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll stop here for today, and we'll pick up where we left off next time. Thank you for watching. Volete.